Welcome in. In this video, you're going to learn the exact strategy we use to grow our audience of pastors from 100,000 to 700,000 leads, and how you can use that strategy in your business to reach your target audience. Be sure to stay till the end because I'm going to show not just how to reach pastors, but specifically how to use this strategy to reach pastors at multi-site churches. So high budget, high team size ministries that are probably the exact customers that your business is looking for. So be sure to stay till the end. Before I dive into the teaching, I want to share a couple cool stories of clients that we're working with. One is one of my longtime mentors, Kerry Newhoff. He's also a client of CMO.Church. And what we're running for him right now is we are running a funnel that we've been running for a long time in their organization. And it's called the Preaching Cheat Sheet. And what it is, it's just a free 3-page guide on the 10 questions that Kerry asks every time that he writes a sermon. And that free lead magnet uses the CTA framework that I'm going to teach you today. And all it does is it gives it away in exchange for people's contact information using Facebook ads. And it's less than $1 cost per lead for that specific lead magnet. It's incredible. Also, in my background, I worked for the Life Church team and grew the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast email list from 70,000 people to 220,000 plus. And how we did it was using the CTA framework. We created a 10 out of 10 lead magnet that was so good that people couldn't help but download it. And that was the 8 Habits of Great Leaders, and then eventually the 44 leadership books that everyone should read. You can Google both of those. They're available on the internet. But those are like 2 massive case studies of this strategy working. Next, I'm going to share just the content. So what is the process? How did it work? So what we did is we did a 3-step process that I've called the CTA Framework. And in the CTA Framework, it's got 3 steps. Create a 10 out of 10 lead magnet that's so good that people can't help but download it. Test, where we test that lead magnet until the landing page converts at 40% or higher, or the cost per lead in Facebook lead forms is less than $1, or it's delivering the right results for your SaaS or whatever you're starting up. So there's 3 different models of using the testing framework, just depending on what your lead magnet is and how it's structured. And we'll talk about that more inside the CTA framework course. But so that's test, and then amplify is the 3rd step. And that's once you've tested it and it's performing well, then you amplify it to the world. And that's where you leverage Alex Hormozi's core 4 frameworks, which we'll talk about. So first, create. You've got to create a lead magnet that's a 10 out of 10. Here's what we learned. And this is the tale of the 4 lead magnets. When we launched Craig's 8 Habits of Great Leaders, we had no clue that it was going to be as successful as it was. And we also didn't realize how much of a gem we had found. How it happened was Craig had recorded part 1 of the 8 Habits of Great Leaders podcast series. And in between part 1 and part 2's recording, I went, guys, we absolutely have to turn this into a lead magnet. This is how we're going to grow our audience. So we put the guide together really quick and then got Craig a quick little quote that he could say during the part 2 recording, where he said, hey, and we also created this free guide where you can download these 8 Habits of Great Leaders. All you gotta do is go to 8habitsofgreatleaders.com or life.church/greathabits. And then he said that in the podcast, and we also ran ads to it. That lead magnet crushed, and it's been downloaded over 200,000 times now, like crazy successful. But not all lead magnets are running successes like that. We also had 2 more lead magnets that we released later that year, the Generational Mindsets PDF and the Momentum Worksheet. And those 2 were massive flops in comparison to 8 Habits of Great Leaders. They were like solid 8 out of 10 resources, arguably more valuable than the 8 Habits of Great Leaders, but they were way less interesting. So they were 8 out of 10s, not what I call 10 out of 10 lead magnets. Then we also released the 5 decision-making styles free training. Great content. It was basically a bonus podcast that Craig recorded, which should have been incredibly valuable, but nobody was interested in it. So why do some lead magnets explode and get downloaded 200,000 times while others just kind of crash and burn or don't get downloaded at all? And this is where Mr. Beast comes in. So I was listening to a podcast that Mr. Beast did a few years ago. And in that podcast, he said his team will not make a video For those of you that don't know who Mr. Beast is, one, welcome to the internet. It's been around for a while, but two, Mr. Beast is the largest YouTuber in the world. He has over 500 million subscribers now on his YouTube channel. Insane. Anyways, he's by far the best person at going viral on the planet, and he has systematized it. And what he does with his team is if they don't have a 10 out of 10 video idea, video title, and video thumbnail, they won't make the video. I realized that the same thing is true of lead magnets, where if it's not a 10 out of 10, the conversion rate will be below 20%, and it's just not worth putting paid ads behind. So that's the strategy we have to leverage, is we have to get a 10 out of 10 lead magnet. So that's create. Then we test it. So what we learned, and I learned this working for Carrie the first 4 years that I was learning marketing and all that stuff, different lead magnets have different conversion rates on the landing page. And the industry standard is 20%. And if you can get 20% or higher, you've got a good lead magnet. That's not good enough. And it's not a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10 will convert at 40% or higher with warm traffic. And that is what we're targeting. I want a landing page that converts so high that everyone that lands pretty much is gonna download that thing. The highest lead magnet conversion rate I've ever seen was 44 leadership books that everyone should read. 85% of the first wave of people that we sent to that landing page converted. And that was like 5,000 people. It was crazy. That was one of the best launches we ever did. Bonus idea, bookless crush. Just, we can talk. Hop on my calendar, we can chat about bookless working. So that's test, is you've got to get it to converting at least 40%. I like 60 if you can get there. You know you've got a good one if you've got 60, and that's with warm traffic. So you've got it converting, or the cost per lead is less than $1 if you're using Facebook lead forms. I talk about that more in the CTA Framework course. Way too complex to get into now, but Facebook lead forms, just Google how to run Facebook lead forms, and that's how you set that up. But you want the cost per lead to be less than $3, preferably less than $1 if you can. So that's test. Then the third step, which is amplify. Now, there are 4 ways that you can market anything out into the world and get the word out about something. And that is warm outreach, cold outreach, posting free content, or running paid ads. Those are the 4 ways to advertise anything. Most people will start with warm outreach, and you've done that. A lot of founders, that's how they start their business, is just their warm relationships of people that they already know. And that'll grow the organization to 300,000, 500,000 a year, maybe $1 million if you're really good at it. But eventually you've got to get outside of your relational network. And that's where the other 3, the cold outreach, posting free content, or running paid ads, comes in handy. So I don't love including posting free content in as a strategy because it's so hit or miss and it takes so long for it to work. So really your 2 options, if you're like really trying to build something scalable and a sellable business, posting or doing cold outreach, which is reaching out to people that don't know you, whether it's buying phone numbers, doing social media outreach, or like cold calling people or emailing people, that also works, or running paid ads. And here's my general principle. If you have more time than money, do cold outreach. It'll be slow, but it will get you some money, so that then once you have more money than time, you run paid ads. And hopefully that's who, like the people who are watching this video, your businesses who are reaching pastors or Christians, and you want help reaching more of them. That's what I'm here to help with. But you want to leverage one of those 2 channels and amplify this thing to the moon. Like you just want to get the word out about this thing. So 8 Habits of Great Leaders, the first 20 or 25,000 downloads were organic, but then the next 175,000, all paid ads. And we were getting them for less than like 30 cents a download. It was crazy, just awesome campaign. I would run that campaign again, like until my career is over. The one thing that I would change is I would add collecting phone numbers. We didn't do that, but I would totally do that. So that's the CTA framework: create, test, amplify. So what do you do about it? This takes some expertise. This takes some tactical like ability to do this. So there's two paths in how I see you moving forwards. One, I have a course inside of the school community that teaches the CTA framework. How do you set up the Facebook ads? How do you create the free PDF? What are the metrics that I track? All that stuff is inside the course. So if you join the premium tier of this school community, you can get access to that. What I would actually recommend is clicking the link down below and booking some time on my calendar and looking at hiring CMO.Church to actually run these ads for you and embedding a fractional CMO either at an advisory level or at a fully paid level into your organization, and that's down below. Some of you are watching this video because you've already booked that link call and we just want you to know the CTA framework. That's great. Thank you for doing that. If you haven't booked a call yet with the CMO.Church team, book a call down below. There's the link right below this. And yeah, I'll see you inside.